palm reading, palmistry, timeline, when and what events might take place. We are looking at this particular hand where this is the headline. And so we are going to talk about this particular time event in one's life. And before I start my video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. To get a paid reading, you can contact me via email or my phone number. We straight away head to this particular palmistry reading. So we are talking about palmistry timeline, when, what events might take place. The time on the headline. Headline may represent more than just your thought process. It can tell many other things as well. It may show disappointments or success, delight, feast, joy, pleasure, triumph, win, source of pleasure. So these things might come about. How do we time the events? This is what we are going to be talking about in this particular palmistry reading. So I'm just going to rub these things, and now I am going to tell you how do we time the events. This is the one's money line, and this is the headline. So the intersection out here is age 35. You would notice that if we zoom in on the line of head, you would notice that the original headline, this is the original headline, this is kind of coming to an end out here, and a new one is developing out here. So the new one that has developed, it is pointing, or it is getting all its energies from the first finger, just below the first finger. This is the area of Jupiter. So a line that originates on the mount of Jupiter means expansion and growth. Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means expansion, growth in one's life, honor in one's life. So when I talked to this particular person, he did mention that a major turnaround came about in his life. There were problems. The problems can be seen with the headline coming to an end. See, generally what happens is our thought process remains consistent throughout our life. Generally, in most of the people, it's not that in every people, but in most of the cases, our headline is a predictable headline which is moving in one particular direction without having any wave-like formation or a break-like thing. Whenever there's a break or there's a wave-like formation, then changes takes place in one's thought process. So if a line ends and a new one develops, a new headline develops, so what happens is that new thought process comes about. It's a very difficult thing in one's life that a new thought process is going to come about. Generally, it's a very monotonous kind of a thing. In most of the people's case, it's only in few people's case that changes take place. And in this particular person's case, it is happening before the age of 35. This is the line of money, the fate line, and this is the intersection. This is age 35. So this break is happening just before the age of 35. We would call it somewhere around the age of 33 and 34. This is what is happening. He mentions that he became more spiritual. Spirituality comes from this particular area, the area of Jupiter. This is one word that is like spirituality is a word that is basically misunderstood, and we use it like many times in a wrong way as well. And for every person, spirituality means something else. So I just dug deeper into what he really meant, and he said that he wanted to become a guru, and he said, can I become a guru maybe in the next life? So my suggestion to him was that you don't have to look for what is going to happen in your next life. You have to look in the present, now, and now this is what is required. So spirituality is not just becoming a guru. If you have those qualities, you are certainly basically going to become a guru. So you don't have to time those events. You have to start just the time where you feel that you might be able to guide other people, and those qualities are not going to come like abruptly. Those things are going to come gradually. So this is what my opinion for him was. But at the same time, a break in the headline, he did mention that there were lots of backstabbing, lots of problems, and due to this, his whole psyche changed, his whole personality basically changed due to that. So just by looking at a very, very small line, we have come to know his change in basic personality. One more line that you see on the headline, you would notice this is the headline, and towards the end you would notice there's an upward kind of a line that is moving from the headline towards the finger side. These are the fingers, so it's moving a little bit upward. Upward lines are considered to be good. If there was a downward kind of a line, downward line pointing at the base of the palm, these downward lines at the base of the palm, those are considered to be bad. They represent disappointments. And such a line, if it was there on the headline, so we would say that the disappointment is coming before the age of 35, so somewhere at the age of 29 or so. This is what is represented by a downward line. It is considered it. This is the headline, and there's a weight. The line that is hanging out here, there's a weight that is hanging on to this particular. There's a weight that is hanging on to this particular headline, which means on your thought process that great amount of weight is hanging, and that is pulling you downwards, and disappointments is pulling you downwards. This is what the downward branch means on the headline. It's the opposite for a upward line. You have seen already the upward line from the headline pointing towards the Jupiter, means growth, expansion, moving towards religion, moving towards higher knowledge, because this is what Jupiter is, or even getting a higher position, or probably more people are going to be honoring you. There would be honor and respect for you. This is what is going to come about in this particular person's life. So I would just show you this particular slide once again. Downward lines means disappointments, but the upward line means success, delight, feast, joy, pleasure, triumph, win, source of pleasure. So this is what is happening in this particular person's case, with the upward line pointing towards the finger towards the end of the line. So there would be more joy and betterment coming to this particular person. That can be seen on the money line as well. So right now he's somewhere around the age of 43 or so. So we are going to look at time on the money line. So this is the money line, this is the fate line. So the intersection is age 35 on the headline, intersection on the heart line is aged 53. So somewhere out here you would notice, I'll just remove this color, you would notice that the money line is kind of breaking again. So a great amount of trouble is going to come about to him right now. And there's again a change in his course, and change in his course is taking place. These are smaller, weaker kind of money line that you see out here. These represent that problems are going to come about financially. There are going to be lots of problems, but towards the end you would notice again the line becomes much more deeper and clearer. So this is the portion of the line that we are seeing, that we are finding that a V or a Y is pointing towards a finger. V does not represent victory. Try to understand, V doesn't mean victory, M doesn't mean money, because some people say M is money. People say that this is M, like think that is in one's case. This is not M. This is plain simple fooling people with. This is, people would say that this is M. So this is M is not money, V is not victory. But a line that is pointing towards any finger, these kind of things, is always considered to be good. It is something like, you can say, is something like that energies is penetrating your fingers, or light is penetrating your fingers, and those light is kind of getting trapped between this particular V or a Y. And trapping means containment in your life. So betterment is going to come to this particular person in the later period of his one's life. It could be somewhere around the age of 50 plus. It could be around the age of 50. If this intersection is 53, so this age could be approximately where the V originates is going to be around the age of 62 or so. So that's what this hand basically tells. You would notice that success can be also seen not just on one's line of money, but even these upward line from the headline pointing towards a finger. There are many more aspects that I might have missed out in this particular palmistry reading. That I would be incorporating in my other videos. And before I end my video, I would request you to just take a look at the last slideshow that I want to show you. This is what money line, possessions, wealth. This is the main questions people have. Money can be seen on almost all possible lines: heart line, headline, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, any line. You can name it. You can see it any place. The importance of money line, the fate line, the Saturn line is just limited to 15%, nothing more. A saint once said, "You do not need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present." What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are important. Negative thoughts would take you in negative direction. Negative people are going to take you in negative direction. Positive, right company is going to nullify your bad points on your palm and take you in the right direction. So right company is very much important. They will take you in the right direction. This is what is required. Thank you. Bye and take care. Invest in yourself. This is what is required.